Yikes! Harry's TV humiliation. The Duke of Sussex, who has no job and therefore an enormous amount of time on his hands, has turned up on a filmed podcast interview hosted by a very talented broadcaster called Hassan Minhaj. And it is a total car crash. It's a horror show. It is the train wreck to end all train wrecks. Now, I've got no problem with the host at all, Hassan Minhaj. What a talented guy. A very, very funny man, and I recommend that you watch his show. But to see Harry make a total fool of himself, putting on an American accent, I mean, just wild, okay? Trying to do an American accent, talking about the endless TV shows that he sits around watching all day because he's got nothing else to do, and revealing that the most American thing that he does, because he was asked, someone said to him, what is the most American thing that you do? And first of all, we had to think, because he's not the sharpest tool in the box. And he sat there and went, it's a difficult question. What's the most American thing I've done? A baseball game maybe, eaten a hamburger, worn a pair of Levi's 501s, consumed a glass of Coca-Cola Classic. No, he couldn't come up with anything that he does that is typically American. So his answer, after an awful lot of cognitive effort, was that he likes surfing. What? Surfing? Surfing is not American. You see, the whole world has got the ocean. And therefore, so if surfing happens in America, it happens in the United Kingdom, it happens in Ireland, it happens in Wales, it happens in Australia and New Zealand. Surfing is global. It's not an American thing. But that is the great extent to which Harry has exposed himself in this latest video. I've got all the clips, which are just extraordinary. But the whole thing is so embarrassing. This is the son of the King of the United Kingdom, who's telling us what he does when he sits around all day, eating popcorn and being bored, watching TV. It's the son of King Charles, and it is the son of the late Princess Diana, the Princess of Wales, revealing the bombshell news on this podcast that he doesn't drink Coors Light. That's right, folks. Stop the press. Harry doesn't drink Coors Light. Well, no, he probably drinks Bud Light, because Bud Light is crazy woke, just like Harry and just like this interview. Now, to describe this interview as lightweight is an understatement. It's the biggest softball interview you've ever seen. And it's the only kind of interview that Harry and Meghan expose themselves to. They don't want scrutiny. They don't want smart questions. They don't want anything more provocative than what is the most American thing that you do, which according to Harry is, I don't know, wearing sneakers, going for a walk. Yeah, that's the most American thing I do. I go, also I breathe in through my nose. That's very American too, isn't it? Like that. And sometimes when I'm having a meal, it will contain carbohydrates. So that's my most American thing. Yeah. And brushing my hair, that's very American. I do that too. I mean, yikes! Give me strength. So the interview is a softball interview, just like the Oprah interview in which Harry and Meghan were so appalling about the royal family, just like the Netflix documentary Harry and Meghan, which was all about the Sussexes and their one-sided view of history. Meghan's podcast appearances with close personal friends who want to challenge me with difficult questions like, why are you so amazing? What's it like being so beautiful? Do you have to pinch yourself sometimes at your perfect life? Difficult, challenging questions like that. So Harry's gone for the same thing now. This guy, Minhaj, I like him, right? I've got no problem with this dude. Very, very talented guy. But it's not a proper interview, right? It's a friendly public relations exercise. It feels scripted. Harry knows where the jokes are coming. He's clearly been briefed in advance because the Sussex public relations machine are absolutely ruthless. And there's no way that they will expose their client to anything that represents accountability. And they certainly don't want to expose Harry to any challenging questions, to any challenging questions, such as what is the most American thing that you've done? Oh, I don't know. Oh, actually, yes, I'll tell you what the most American thing I've done. I've gone to bed around 11 p.m. in the evening and got up at 7 a.m. That's very American. To take 8 hours of sleep from when it's dark to when it's light in the morning. That's quite American. Yes. So the interview is a horrible public relations exercise. He's been spoon-fed the questions very slowly. The reason why they've done it slowly is to match the pace of Harry's tortoise-like brain, which just has to, not even like a sloth. Harry is a human sloth, isn't he? If he came back as an animal, he would be a sloth. Have you ever seen a sloth? They crawl around. Actually, I'll tell you, sloths are bright and high energy compared to Harry. No wonder he's so fat these days. Harry, by the way, has piled on the pounds. Burn down the mission. He has absolutely piled on the pounds. He's such a unit these days. He's so fat. Harry is so, and I'm not fat shaming, honey. I'm just calling it out that he's turned into a porker. And the reason why I say that, I have a journalistic reason for pointing out what a porker he is. But I've been fat too. I have been #fat Mark Dolan, which is why I'm so excited about Hypnosio, which is the excellent product that if you use the Dolan promo code, you'll have a great time with Hypnosio. We're going to bring back the Hypnosio folks are coming back soon, which is a new way of using hypnosis to help you with your weight loss. But Harry, the H-bomb, he is like a sloth. And anyway, it's a softball interview. It's a public relations exercise. It feels scripted. It's incredibly boring. It's mind-numbingly boring. I was drooling. I was actually drooling like a toddler. I had just a bit like Harry when he's concentrating. You know, when Harry's concentrating, like when he was creating a face out of a pumpkin. You know, the tongue comes out and he begins to drool. I must do a pumpkin. I'm not doing as good a job as Meghan's second husband, Marcus Anderson, who's so good looking with a rich Scandinavian beard. You must check out yesterday's video, a bombshell video about Meghan's second husband, the very handsome and dashing restaurant king, Marcus Anderson. But it was a softball interview, right? It was so spoon-fed. There was no journalism here. Where is Larry King when you need him? Where is Barbara Walters, Michael Parkinson, Piers Morgan? Where is Walter Cronkite when you need him most? And actually, this host, right, Mr. Minaj, is actually pretty smart because although it's a softball interview, he actually mocks Harry quite a lot. He actually teases and mocks Harry, which wasn't the plan. And I can assure you that the Sussex PR machine will be very unhappy with how this has gone out. By the way, can I just say, let me say just this, which is that not that many people have watched the show. Now, when we are on air, we're just on air at the moment, right? Coming on air, I just checked the figures and 100,000 people have watched this interview, right? Now, it's great numbers. It's great numbers, okay? Just 3 or 4 days ago, the Mark Dolan show, we hit 100,000 viewers for one particular video. Delighted about that, right? It's great. 6 figures, great. But for one of the most famous men in the world who hasn't done a interview on YouTube since the Netflix series Harry and Meghan, and it's 100,000 views. I'm so sorry, folks. For the Mark Dolan show, which began 10 months ago, and which is a brand new channel. And by the way, we're going to be number one. Don't worry about that. We are on our way to becoming the number one talk show in the world. I promise you it's coming. But we're building, right, from ground zero. You and I are building this community together, and I love your comments. They're not, the comments, they are not the show. They're not part of the show. They are the show, your comments. Your comments achieve 3 L's, which is to make me laugh, to make me listen, to make me learn. Those are the 3 things. I learn because you're so incredibly knowledgeable. I listen because you're so wise. And I laugh because you're hilarious. Because you don't care. And why would you? You won't be censored. No one gets cancelled, not on my watch. But 100,000 for this, it should be millions. It should be 5-10 million. It's 100,000 views. No one's interested. That might be the most damning aspect of this video. It's not just the fact that it's a total train wreck and Harry comes across very badly. It might not be the fact that the host, Mr. Minaj, mocks Harry and lampoons him, which the Sussex PR machine will hate because they have no sense of humour. The worst thing is lack of interest. I mean, that's what they say, isn't it? There's only one thing worse than being talked about, and that's not being talked about. As you know, my body is a temple, which is why I'm delighted to tell you about CovePure, a countertop purifier that removes the nasties from your water with major benefits for your family's health. Here's something truly shocking. When people take medication, not all of it is absorbed. The rest ends up in the water supply that we all consume. Antibiotics, antidepressants, even hormone disruptors like the pill. Yikes! I'm not ready to go on the pill. So, luckily, CovePure is lab certified to remove up to 99.9% of impurities, including fluoride, PFAs, microplastics, agricultural runoff, pharmaceuticals, and heavy metals. The only heavy metal I like is the late great Ozzy Osbourne. Are you right, Sharon? Using state-of-the-art reverse osmosis and 4-stage filtration, CovePure gives you instant hot or cold water at the touch of a button. Setup is a breeze. Just plug it in and moments later, you've got fresh, pure water. Now, the first thing that you'll notice is the taste. Clean, crisp, pure, no aftertaste. And here's the thing, you wouldn't take a stranger's prescriptions, so why drink their leftovers? Protect yourself now at covepure.com/Dolan and get $200 off. That's right, $200 off. That is COVEPURE.com/Dolan. I'll drink to that. Cheers. Delicious. So the host lampoons Harry over the pathetic passage in the book Spare, in which Harry complains that he only got money from his father for ceremonial clothing. He talked about his clothing allowance, right? This is the guy. He writes in the book Spare that money was a problem when he was a kid. Now, just process that for a second. He writes in the book Spare that money was a problem when he was Prince Harry, grandson of Queen Elizabeth II, living in extraordinary luxury. Buckingham Palace, Sandringham, Balmoral, chandeliers, everything's gold-plated, glitz. The family are worth billions, and money was a problem. He said, yes, unfortunately, the only money that I got from my father for clothing was for ceremonial clothing, and I had to spend my own cash on casual outfits. So Mr. Minaj is quite good in that he notices this and does a very mocking section about it, in which he takes Harry down and takes him down to Chinatown, and you can see Harry doesn't like it. He chuckles, but it's a kind of fake laughter. It's kind of, he's laughing through gritted teeth. It's not quite the Prince Andrew laughing. Oh, I got so many girlfriends, man. Yeah, and I live in the Royal Lodge. I'm not going anywhere. Oh, so he writes in the book Spare that he was so poor whilst being the son of Queen Elizabeth and spending most of his time in Buckingham Palace, which is a priceless building. He said that he had to go to the discount store TK Maxx, which in the UK is, which in America, so in Britain it's called TK Maxx. In America it's called TJ Maxx. And this was his great sort of tragedy, is he had to go to that shop. Can I say just something briefly? Which is I'm more than happy, because I'm very choosy about who I accept sponsorship from. And let me tell you, today's sponsors are the best. CovePure, OMG, covepure.com/Dolan. Delicious, healthy, clean, filtered water, hot or cold water at the click of a button. I love the CovePure. So that's why I always have a passionate belief in the products that are featured on the show. And therefore, it doesn't get better than CovePure. It does not. But if you were, for example, from the marketing department of TK Maxx in the UK or TJ Maxx in the United States, let me tell you that I would accept their sponsorship because I think it's a great store. How dare Harry attack and belittle TJ Maxx or TK Maxx, as it's called? Do you know what it is? And let me know in the comments, do you have it in Australia or New Zealand? And is there a TJ Maxx in Canada, I'm sure there is. What about in Europe? I don't think it's reached Europe, but it's got to, mainland Europe. What you've got is you've got luxury designer goods, which did not sell, okay, in the main store, like Ralph Lauren, Armani, and also other sort of more sensible brands like Zara. And what happens is that the goods, the stock that didn't sell, gets purchased a second time by a different retailer, which is TK Maxx or TJ Maxx in America. So when you go into a TK Maxx or a TJ Maxx, you basically, it's like a thrift store or a charity shop for new clothes. And I love the TK Maxx, and they're welcome to sponsor the show because there's a high quality, premium, household name brands for a fraction of the price. How dare Harry complain and criticize TK Maxx? Let me say just this, that a lot of the clothes that I wear here on the Mark Dolan show are from TK Maxx. I'm just having a little look in my studio wardrobe if I can spot. Yep, there you go. Look at that beautiful tie. We don't have time for this. We've got so much to get through. I haven't done the clips of the interview yet. That is from TK Maxx. Isn't that absolutely beautiful? The brand is Stovall and Mason. I could easily have worn that today, couldn't I? Let me say just this. Maybe shall I change my tie? Shall I put this on, or do you want me to stick with, I think I'm going to change the tie because then you've got the magic of watching me change my tie. So I love TK Maxx, and how dare Harry, the H-bomb, my husband, how dare he criticize a lovely brand which allows people to be stylish, but at sensible prices, right? Oh, by the way, I'm so happy that we've done this costume change because I think this is a really, really good tie. And it cost me around $20, which I know is not nothing. It's a significant amount of money, but for a silk tie from an English tie maker, I'll take that. I think originally it would have been like $30 or $40. That's not too bad, is it? What do you think? I've got to, I promise you, we don't have time for me to be changing outfits during the show because I've got so many good clips. But that is, just get rid of the microphone for a second. That's not bad, is it? This is from TK Maxx. And Harry, it's not good enough for Harry. How dare he? By the way, I'm thinking of getting rid of the microphone and having a little clip mic. What do you think? A bit more space. Shall I do that? Let me know in the comments. Shall I get rid of the main mic so I'm free just to throw myself around a bit? It would look like that. What do you think? Shall we do that? Shall we get rid of the microphone? I think we could. Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments if you want me to clear the big heavy microphone, or let me know if you like it. Right, so let's get into these clips. But yeah, TK. Before the end of the show, I can see one more TK Maxx tie, and I'm going to show it to you at the very end, so you can see what a great store it is and why they should sponsor the show. But what they're going to have to do, they're going to have to make a better offer than CovePure, who are outstanding for clean, delicious water. CovePure.com/Dolan. It's a great product. Right. Let's get into it now because I'm so excited about these clips. So let's have a listen to clip number 1.
What do your kids think you do?
That's a good question.
That's a good question. Yeah, what do your kids think you do? The answer, Harry, is you don't do anything. So there is no satisfactory answer to that. That's what I love about this interview. It's exactly like With Love Meghan, the Netflix show. That was supposed to make Meghan look good. And she had 80 people working on the show and a big budget and editors. And she was the executive producer, Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. And yet all the resource, all the manpower and woman power, they couldn't make Meghan look good. Even with editing, she still came across as a vindictive narcissist, which of course she is. Didn't you know I'm not Meghan Markle anymore? I'm Meghan Sussex. You're so tall. Ooh, you've had a lot of coffee today. She was extraordinarily obnoxious on that show. And that was after the edit. Can you imagine watching the rushes? The rushes is what they call the kind of raw material at the end of a day's filming. Can you imagine how messy the rushes were? Yikes. I absolutely love that. So it's exactly the same here, where Harry thinks, oh, I'm quite clever and I'm quite funny
a bit of a comedian myself, really. You know, I'm one of the lads. And so what I'll do is I'll just kind of be on the show and look really good, look a bit of a rock star.
No, not a rock star at all. A flop star. Not a rock star, Harry. A flop star. Burn down the mission if you're gonna stay alive. Oh my God. So what do your kids think you do? There's no coming back from that. There is no coming back from that. It's over. It's over for Harry. It's over. Right. So let's get the next clip.
They know that we help other people.
You see, scrabbling around, but
They know we help other people. You see, we're massive humanitarians. The other people we help they're called Harry and Meghan. And then there are these other people, and they're called Meghan and Harry. There's a couple of other people we help. We help the Duke of Sussex, we help him, and the Duchess of Sussex. So we help a lot of people. We help Harry and Meghan, Meghan and Harry, the Duke of Sussex, the Duchess of Sussex, and the Sussexes as well, help them as well.
did you notice, right? He's touching his ear. When they said to him, do your kids know what you do? When he's answering, he's touching his ear. And that's because he's nervous, because he knows that there is no answer and he's having to make it up. So let's see both clips back to back because they're just too beautiful.
What do your kids think you do?
That's a good question. They know that we help other people.
Just beautiful.
Are you going to become a U.S. citizen?
Am I going to become a US citizen? There are no plans to be at this point.
Yikes! He wasn't ready for that one. A political question. Are you going to become a US citizen? Now, this is obscene because I'm broadcasting from London in the United Kingdom. And this is a guy that is essentially not ruling out, rescinding his own nationality to become a US citizen. That is the level of disloyalty. Now, don't get me wrong. I love America, the United States. I get it. It's the most incredible country in civilization. But this is a guy that casually doesn't rule out rescinding his own nationality for his new life in America. Quick reminder, Harry, I don't know if you got the memo. Your father is the king of the United Kingdom, and you don't rule out chucking all that away and saying, I'm not British anymore. But that's Harry. That's the Harry we know. He is disloyal to his core. Next clip.
What do I need to do to get knighted?
What do you need to do to get knighted? We can probably discuss this offline.
Sure. No, because my daughter, she'll do this thing where she.
If you have a sword, we can do it afterwards.
OMG. Now, there's several things here. It's very interesting with Hassan Minhaj because he's basically just destroying Harry. And this is in the friendly bit before the interviews got serious, right? This is softball stuff. And Harry is absolutely dying on his backside in this utter TV train wreck. And so now Harry is being mocked by this guy about the great monarch's tradition of knighting people. Now, it's the greatest honour in the land to become Sir, isn't it? Sir Paul McCartney, Sir Elton John, Sir James Dyson. There are Sir Winston Churchill. Just think of the venerated figures that have been a knight of the realm in this country. They're our finest. They are the finest people we have, are the knights of the realm. And now you've got a podcast host who is sort of mocking Harry about the tradition, and Harry's going along with it. Exactly like Meghan did when she mocked Queen Elizabeth on the Harry and Meghan Netflix documentary when she did the fake curtsy. Oh, I didn't like having the curtsy, and it was so silly, and I kind of went, ooh, 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 literally mocking Queen Elizabeth. And now Harry is mocking the monarchy. First of all, he's like, yeah, I can't rule out not being British anymore. Yeah, forget that. I might burn my British passport. Yeah, it looks exactly like this one. I'll just burn it and chuck it in the fire. Oh. And now he is making light of the venerated process of knighting someone. And then he says, oh, we'll have to discuss this offline when we're finished. And then he says that he'll do it later. All he needs is a sword. Now, I know that this is playful chat. I realize that this is Harry's decrepit attempt at humor. Totally decrepit attempt at humor. I hear you. But it's flippant. And it also, by the way, because the straight bat there, you see, what Mr. Minaj, he's entitled to do what he does. I like him. I think he's terrific, right? I think he's tremendous. And you must watch the interview because the whole thing it's worse than a Stephen King horror film. You'll be watching from behind the sofa. It's some dark stuff going on down there. But Minaj is terrific. And he's asking Harry about this knighthood thing. And what Harry should say is he should chuckle and go, well, it's not my position to comment. I'm not a serving member of the royal family. And being knighted is one of the most venerated things that can happen to a great British citizen. That's the answer. Instead, Harry's like, oh, yeah, I'll give her a knighthood. Have you got a sword? We'll do it later. We'll have a few beers. Not Coors Light, because I don't like that. I prefer Bud Light, because I'm crazy woke. And but no, that's what he should have done. He should have been discreet and said, it's not for me to mention about knighthoods. And that's my father's job. But basically, and of course, Harry, he doesn't like this because the folks that give knighthoods predominantly are his brother, Prince William, and his father, King Charles. They predominantly do the knighthoods. And Harry doesn't do knighthoods. He can't give a knighthood. And can you imagine how disappointing it would be if you were knighted and it was that old sad sack giving you the knighthood? Thanks, but no thanks, Harry. I would not want to become Sir Mark Dolan. Never say never. I would never want that if it was Harry doing the benighting. Okay, I'd rather have a TK Maxx loyalty card. Frankly, I tell you what I'd much rather have is a very cold glass of CovePure water. CovePure.com/Dolan. Right, let's get on to the next clip. It's just, I cannot believe any of this is real.
Are there things that used to confuse you about America that you now understand, now that you've lived here for 5
No,
years?
it's become more confusing. It's become way more confusing.
Wow.
Okay.
So you come to America, the American people have welcomed you with open arms 5 years ago. And the best you can say about America, first of all, you think surfing is the most American thing you can do.
Yeah, there are other things. Sometimes if food is lacking flavor, I'll put salt on it. That's the most American thing I do. I do that. And also, when I wear shoes, I put the left shoe on the left foot and the right shoe on the right foot. Occasionally, in between my foot and the shoe, there will be a sock. That's probably the most American thing I've ever done, is wear shoes on the correct feet with socks. That's my most American thing.
He now insults the great American people by saying that he finds America very confusing and that he's more confused since he got here. How dare you? How dare you? I've been to the United States. As you know, the Mark Dolan Show did a lengthy tour with cameraman John, who is still very well. So many of you are asking about cameraman John. It is the ambition of the Mark Dolan Show to return to the United States in 2026 to cover all of the other amazing states, including Michigan. And if I learned anything about America, it's that it's a great country and you have to be respectful of America. You go to America and you participate in the customs, which is pretending to enjoy root beer, giving people high fives, wearing denim, and saying yeehaw a lot. And those are critically important things for integration. I love America. There's no point going to America if you don't love the whole thing. Okay? A free society, free markets, a very, very happy commercial existence, the United States, right? With its history, amazing political history, true icons like Abraham Lincoln and George Washington and Reagan and all of these venerated figures. American showbiz, you know, you've got Hollywood, which is the home of entertainment globally, with the movie industry, for which we have the Americans to thank. TV, comedy, art, music. Oh my God. On a dark desert highway, cool wind in my hair, one smell of colitas rising up through the air. Up ahead in the distance, We saw a shimmering light. You can get out anytime you like, but you can never leave. So America's great. How dare he be so flippant about the United States? I'm not having it. Here's the next clip, and it's devastating from the host.
There's so many things you could do with your time, your platform.
That's it. I mean, it's over, isn't it? It's over. There's so many things you could do with your time. Ain't that the truth, baby? Listen, folks, it's a wild interview. It's called Hassan Minhaj Doesn't Know. He's a very, very clever and funny and smart man. And if there's anyone that doesn't know anything, it's poor old Prince Harry, who is away with the fairies. He's a space cadet. Tell us when the shuttle lands, Harry. It ain't happening. Folks, I've loved chatting. Cannot wait to see you for the next video, which is scheduled to be on Sunday. But please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and then you'll be alerted to emergency shows, which happen all the time. Love your work. Stay awesome. See you next time. Bye for now. Nearly forgot. Here's the other TK Maxx tie. What do you think?